Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Euria Industries series. Today we are finishing the whole rural area zone over here. So yeah, we're basically doing that. We're building a new coaster, by the way, over here, and not much else. And I would say that this part of the park would be officially finished after the this episode that you guys are watching right now. So right now you guys are watching me building a Girls Flower Infinity coaster. It will not be the case at the end of the episode. I thought of making this coaster, but then I realized that I wanted to make it a little bit less tall overall, because I didn't want this to be seen from other areas, especially on the rural area. I don't know why, but for some reason I just felt like it didn't fit. So I ended up sticking with a Premier Rides launched coaster. It draws a lot of inspiration from Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando and the future coming Up in Fury at Canada's Wonderland. And I think it looks pretty cool and pretty realistic for what Premier could do. I don't know, I'm not really familiar with the work that Premier does, but I feel like, as far as you know, with Icebreaker, which I have ridden, and Up in Fury, which I have seen the layout, and are the two most new coasters from this manufacturer that are not Skyrocket 2 models, I feel like it's pretty loyal to what Premier usually does. Maybe some stuff might be a little bit out of the comfort zone of Premier, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a new element, or a new outlook to what Premier does, if you will. So yeah, that's what I'm trying here. It does have like a backwards launch. I would have loved to have a swing launch over here, but you guys know how the Premier Rides launch system, like the swing launch system, works. Is not the best one, so I decided to add like a little bit of a scene, or of a theming scene over there. So yeah. So at the beginning I didn't have a plan for this coaster. The theming was pretty much completely unknown. I just started building a coaster because I felt like I wanted to have another coaster over here at this part of the park, which is the closest part of the park to the parking lot from the Baser Town, sorry. And I wanted to have another coaster over here. I knew I wanted to have a bit of a more of an intense coaster, because we already have a gentle coaster, family kind of oriented coaster in the exact same area. So having two family coasters over here didn't make that much sense to me from a variety standpoint, you know? Like, I kind of want to have like a good amount, or a good quantity of like extreme and family oriented coasters in every section of the park. So I decided to go for a Premier Rides. It is not the most intense coaster out there. I think the top speed is like 91 kilometers per hour or something like that, but it does go upside down, and it has some whip at some point. So that was what I was going for. I was not going for the most extreme coaster over here, because this area doesn't ask for it to be too extreme. So good enough for what I was going for. So the theme of this area inside of the Baser Town, so this is part of the Baser Town, but it's kind of like a sub area. I thought that I could make some parts of this town be a little bit more abandoned, because some towns in rural parts of Spain do have abandoned buildings over there, ancient buildings. So I wanted to do that, but I didn't know how to do it. And when I started building this station building, I was kind of lost on how to do it, because, you know, we have the pieces, but the wall pieces and all those kind of pieces do look like pieces, and they need to be inside of a building. If not, they don't look like fully complete. So I needed to give them like a border per se. I don't know if I'm explaining myself pretty well, but you guys will see it after and understand what I mean pretty quick. So yeah, I needed a border and stuff, but didn't know how to achieve that, but I think I achieved it well, so that's pretty cool. You guys are seeing me now put the supports for the Premier Rights coaster. Right now I'm not focusing too much on building custom support because there's an update coming on December. We don't know which day of December. As I'm filming this, it is 1st of December right now, so we might get an update soon, or it might be at the end of December. We don't know, but we are getting an update, and they told in the notes that they were focusing on having custom supports on this update. So I didn't want to build any supports right now. If I feel like the supports are not realistic enough, by the time that update comes, I will come here and update the actual supports. But I just want to focus on the coaster right now because the coaster builder is so good, and I will never get tired of saying this. The coaster builder is so good. It is really easy to work with it, and even though it's not the most precise, it's got some stuff that I don't feel like are so good. For example, and I feel like it didn't work either on Planet Coaster 1, but the heat maps, they're not the vibe, honestly. They could be like little graphs like how they do with No Limits. That would be the ideal, but it might be a little bit too, professional or too deep and complicated for people that are casual players. But at the end of the day, I feel like casual players don't use those heat maps at least as much. The GeForce heat maps, they don't use them, and that's the heat maps I have a problem with. The excitement, nausea, and all that, I don't take a look at that much, because also the excitement, it's pretty broken. Intensity and nausea can be a little bit more real and fair, but the excitement, it's completely broken. 0G stalls and any hang time doesn't count it as excitement. I feel like there's some stuff that Planet Coaster could improve on, or Frontier could improve on. My main issue with the excitement is that excitement drops too fast, and I don't feel like it's the case in real life. When you just hit the brake ground, you are just gone out of a coaster, of a really intense coaster. If the coaster is really intense, then the rush is really big, and the rush takes a little bit, or the adrenaline takes a little bit of time to wear off. If it was a gentle coaster, I could get that waiting on the brake ground could be boring, but you can stand waiting on the brake ground for quite a while. Examples of this come to me with, for example, Velocicoaster at Universal Orlando, or Maverick at Cedar Point. Especially with Maverick, it has a lot of trains loading into the station, and there's a couple trains waiting behind the station stacked. If that coaster was built on Planet Coaster, the excitement rating of that coaster would be, I don't know, 3 maybe, because of like the final brake ground, when in reality Maverick literally tries to kill you. So I don't get the whole excitement thing from Planet Coaster. I feel like they should make it drop a little bit slower. The higher the overall intensity is before you hit a brake run or a boring spot, I feel like you should have it drop a little bit slower. I don't know. It could be good to have that sort of thing, and it could make the excitement rating a little bit more accurate, because I feel it's not accurate right now. I feel like this coaster, just because it breaks quite a lot in the middle with the swing launch and all that, it turned out to be an excitement rating of like, I don't know, like 3.5 or something, which is really low. So, and it doesn't make any sense, because overall the coaster has a lot of whip. It's kind of whippy. It doesn't focus too much on airtime or positive G-forces, but it focuses quite a bit on whip, and the whip is something that the ride doesn't take as exciting as well. So yeah, there's another problem right there. But anyways, there's still time for Planco devs to fix it and stuff. So now you guys are seeing me build the coaster station, and at first I tried to add some blobs of this kind of like pattern thingy, but then I realized that the pattern, it only works on the borders, because it's the straight parts of the walls that I want to get rid of, because they are too perfect for it to be an abandoned building, you know. So I focused on that, and from this moment onwards I will only focus on the borders, because in the middle I don't think it needs any more texture. So yeah. I also added the entrance and the exit, and you will see me change the entrance position to somewhere else because I wanted to add it a fast lane. Over here you're now seeing me add, so technically it's just a box, but I wanted to give the illusion that an elevator is over there because I wanted the exit or this coaster to be accessible, which it is through the regular queue as well, because the queue doesn't have any stairs, it has some slopes. So if they wanted to wait on the coaster on the normal line, such as Disney offers, for example, they can absolutely do it, but they can also go through the elevator to get some kind of alternate access pass or something. So I wanted it to be accessible, just like the rest of the rides on this park are, because as of now I think all of the rides are accessible. So yeah, that's cute. And then you're seeing me now adding a lot of detail. I wanted to add a little bit of detail on the coaster station precisely and not make it everything be the exact same, because normally what I do is I just take one wall piece and then decorate that wall piece and then have the actual wall piece copied over and over, so the decoration copies as well, and then you have like a pattern kind of in a nice way for I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah, I understand myself, I think. So yeah, and I didn't want to do that in the station because I felt like it's the main part of the roller coaster, so I wouldn't like to have it be too focused on repetition. I want it to be unique. But I do use this technique for other parts of the queue and the coaster itself. So you guys are now seeing me build the queue. The queue has quite a lot of space, but I have the suspicion that it might not be enough, seeing that we have a fast lane, so loading will be affected by that, of course, and the ride doesn't have the most capacity that it could. It has like a theoretical, and it could be like a real capacity of like 1,100 people, which is not bad at all, but it could be better. I feel like it's a theoretical at the end of the day, so if this was in real life it would have a lower capacity, but it's what we get, it's what we have, so yeah, it's okay. So yeah, along with the abandoned kind of rural theme that I wanted to give to this area of the park, which is kind of like the most, I don't know, it's like the farthest away from any other parts of the park, you know, so I wanted to give it like that abandoned, kind of far away theme. I also added a little bit of a theme to the coaster. I wanted to theme it a little bit better, but with the resources I have and the ability that I have right now, I'm not really good at theming coasters at the moment, so I did what I could with what I had, and I think it turned out pretty cool. For what it is, it's a simple coaster. It's kind of like a coaster that's not focused on having too much theming, even though this park, again, I want to make this park kind of like a park that is made like in a Universal kind of style, you know, like a lot of people, a lot of budget and stuff. But Universal has Rip Ride Rockit, for example, which is a coaster that has almost like close to none theming. So I wanted to focus on that on here as well. It does have kind of like a bit of theming every here and there, but I wanted to focus a little bit on the rural aspect of it. So it's basically themed around a fake, made up, completely made up mythical creature, which is called the Whisperer. The lore of this, and I was thinking that this park could have like some signs throughout the queue so that you could get to know the Whisperer, you know. But the lore of it is basically a soul that just was abandoned. When it died, it had like it died in a weird way and not with all of its like desires fulfilled and stuff, and so he stayed on the earth and didn't go away into another, you know, astral plane or whatever. And so now it is trying to search for help to get for him to go to the other side, you know. And the history kind of goes as like he tries to ask for your help. It's kind of like a sad story, but like he tries to ask for your help, and then when you come close to it and when you face him, you just try to escape and panic a little bit, but then realize that he needs help, and then you need to help him, and then you finally help him go into the other side, you know. Kind of like a complicated theme. Also, it's not fully understandable from the coaster, you know. It's not a coaster that I made to tell a story. It was just a coaster to entertain, and then I wanted to give it like a kind of like a background or a theme, so that it wasn't like the abandoned coaster or something like that, you know, which I didn't want to give. So I wanted to give a little bit more lore, or like made up lore to this whole park. So yeah, this would be one of the characters that could roam around like this area or something, maybe, for example. I don't know. I added also to the coaster some trigger sequence stuff, and the sequencer, it's kind of complicated, not gonna lie. It could be made much more easier. I think that in the in Frontier wanted it to be made a little bit more easier and more you know, easy to understand for people that are casual players. They made it too complicated if you wanted to do something that it's out of the ordinary, you know. So I tried to do something that it was like kind of like really simple, which is basically have some lights turned on as soon as the coaster gets out of the station, and then once they get to the first launch in which they stop at, I wanted the lights to be kind of flickering and then turn off, like the power went out kind of feeling, you know. It was kind of difficult to make that work. I had to have 4 different sequencers with 4 different situations, and I had to change every single thing and every single light individually for it to be able to work. It was a true headache, and it was some of the most boring thing that I did on here. I also, one of the new things that I added over here, it was like a bush brush, which I wanted to play with, and I played with a little bit, but I wanted to add, especially because I felt like some places on this park were a little bit empty, and I wanted to fill them up, but quick, because I didn't want to focus too much on that. And this is just perfect. For example, for this part of the park, which has 2 queues almost going into each other, and I didn't want them to be able to see the other queue around, it was really easy to add some bushes down there, and then added some trees with a new tree brush that I made myself, and it was really, really, really easy to make. So yeah, this is a really nice thing that Frontier made. So pretty cool on that, pretty grateful that this exists, and not much else. You guys are seeing me now build those and customize those. It takes a little while to customize, but not too much. But yeah, at the end, I start implementing these and using these all over there, and you'll see it turns out really great. So yeah, we're kind of halfway the whole speed build. At the beginning, so my thing was, at the beginning I thought that I didn't have enough content for me to do like a speed build, then go into real-time mode and then continue with a speed build. But at the end of the day, not at the end of the day, like when I realized I had like 8 hours of footage. So yeah, you guys are seeing right now 8 hours of footage, which some of the footage that I filmed didn't make it into the video. Either because I didn't film it, or B, like either because I did it off camera, or B, because I forgot to film it. But yeah, I got quite a lot of stuff, and I made quite a lot of progress with this area. You'll see that it's quite a lot of decorating and building, kind of like making it all look together, you know? It turned out pretty great. I'm pretty happy with this, so I feel like we are ready to move on to the next part of the park in a next episode. I also need to tackle the entrance, which is not finished, not even started, I would say, but it's there. But yeah, not much on that behalf right now. I didn't focus too much on it because I was too focused on this, and now I am kind of fearing going back into that because it's kind of more complicated than the buildings that I've been making lately. So I'll go back to it eventually. So yeah, we're on the final third of the speed build now. Oh my god, suddenly sometimes I quite forget how to speak, honestly, but yeah. So in this final part, I'm just starting to add the theme to the actual coaster. You guys are seeing that I'm adding like a purple kind of theme, and then I'm building this kind of statue over here, which is supposed to be kind of like an ancient statue that was here, and in which the ghost is kind of trapped. And I wanted to add like some more stuff over here. I wanted to make well, I added some light effects over here, and I added some stuff, but I feel like it's not my best work that I've done. It's good enough. It also only works well at night, because if you do this coaster in the morning, you will basically see nothing. But it's okay. It's a coaster that works better at night. It doesn't matter. It's nothing to be worried about. But yeah. And now you're seeing me try to work with the rotating piece. This rotating piece that you guys are seeing over here, it's kind of like the piece that I'm gonna try to use for this last part. It's a tunnel that the ride goes through. I didn't plan this, but then I saw these pieces and I was like, okay, what if the ride actually went through these pieces and it like looked like you're going through portals or something like that. It's a Viking theme, but I thought it fit well over here. This is not based on anything in real life. I just wanted to add something like that, and I wanted to add something cool to the ride because I felt it was pretty bare bones, and I wanted to add something especially to this cave over here in this tunnel. I added some light effects, I added that, and that's it. But yeah, so I worked around it. Now you guys are seeing me lighting this, and I'm gonna light probably most of the coaster at night now, and I'm gonna add some effects to it with the sequencer and all that. And then we'll be finished with the coaster. I'll finish the rest, which is going to be the rest of the town and stuff, because we're gonna finish the whole base or town over here, and the only thing that's gonna be missing from here, it's gonna be the transition to the next area, which I've been thinking, and I think I know what the themes of the next areas I want them to be. I want to have a forest area. I want to have so like forest industry area. I want to have like a coal and mining industry area, and then I want to have a nuclear industry area. So those are going to be like the main 4 zones that we're going to have on this park. I might see if I want to add any other one. I want to add a water park, because Planet Coaster 2 main thing is water parks. So I wanted to add that, maybe with like a shipyard kind of industry or something like that. But yeah, I'll see what I do. Right now we're just focusing on the rural part, and it turned out really great. I think this is, I could call it done at this point, honestly. So yeah, and to be honest, I don't have any idea of what else I could talk about. I feel like I've covered all the topics that I wanted to talk about here, so yeah, not much else. I don't know if someone will be hearing this anyway, so yeah, I'm just wandering around right now, just making a little bit of time for this final part of the speed build to be done, which is pretty boring. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty boring part of the speed build. But I guess I just filmed it, I just uploaded it, and well, filmed it, and then I just added it to the time-lapse in my editor, and yeah, it's in here. So I was also thinking that I wanted to make some more videos of some other kinds. I've been planning around them. I wanted to make some videos on the kind of like the real life engineer kind of aspect of it, because I quite miss focusing on that a little bit. So I want to do something like that on this series or any other series that might come around. I also am continuing with the Planet Coaster 2 career mode series, which I am filming, and it takes a little while, especially because I don't know how, but like the rating over here is kind of messed up. The rating, it's pretty hard to bump up, especially because of the amount of rides that it asks you to have for the park rating to be 4.5, and you need to fulfill that on every single scenario for you to be able to reach platinum level. It's a headache. It's a headache, to say the least. So yeah, I'm struggling with the third scenario on that behalf because, well, you know, I want a theme and I want to have it like be realistically themed and all that, but also Planet Coaster doesn't make it easy for me to theme everything at the level that they're asking me. So I don't know what to do with that series. I might just skip the whole 4.5 stars and just do it off camera because it's too much. It is quite a lot. But yeah, it's a really interesting series that I'm managing to keep under control because the first parts were long. They were pretty long. And I think the second part I made it a little bit shorter, but not too much because I focused too much on making too many commentaries. I think this third part might be a little bit shorter. I've come across some editing techniques that I can use so that the video gets a lot shorter, and yeah, I probably will implement them probably in these videos as well in the future. And not much else to say. I recently discovered a new channel. I don't remember the name of the channel, and I might look it up after, but it has some really nice tutorials on Planet Coaster 2, on how to make like some stuff. You saw me go through the Frontier workshop because I was looking for one of the workshop items this person has uploaded to the workshop, and it's a really good item, really useful, especially for whenever you want to have like invisible barriers for small objects, which I struggle with a lot because a lot of my guests clip through these objects. So I try to get that so that I could, you know, have a new way to fix this situation. And I don't have anything else to say, so I feel like the most intelligent thing for me right now to do is to just shut up, let the speed belt end, and then go into real-time mode so that I can show you guys the progress in real time, and maybe do a POV of this coaster and all that, and then just call the video as done. The video for this episode as done. So again, the speed build will still continue to be going on. There's a little bit of a like 5 minutes left or something, a little bit more, 6 minutes left or something, but I will shut up and I will let you guys see the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys on the real time section. And we're back on real-time mode. So, update on the things I did. On the last part of the video I finished a little bit of this area. It's turning out pretty great, and the parts that you are able to see also kind of like tied around a little bit. So, pretty happy about that. So I just made this building. So the new building I added was this building, but I decided to copy it once more over here, and then I just copied this building over here, took one of the floors off, so as you guys can see it has one floor less, and then I just turned all these wooden pieces into green, and now it's a completely different building. See? It's completely different. Didn't change a lot of this turf. The Baron supply drop ride is still untouched. It's not testing. I want it to be going around and stuff, and then the rest of the stuff is right around here doing what it needs to do, you know. So yeah, not much else added over here. Oh, I deleted this fountain over here for the Baron supply drop entrance, so it now has nothing, and I feel like it is much better. Let me go into a first person view. I feel like it's much more like realistic, or not realistic, but like much more seeable, because before you had some object over here that didn't allow you to see the whole entrance sign. So that's the entrance sign. You can go this way, and now the queue is all finished. I just copied one of the objects over here because I didn't know what to do with this part of the queue, and I feel like this just looks pretty good. So you just go this way and then just go that way, and you end up that way, and I didn't change anything past this point, so we're gonna go back, and when we go through this section over here, this is all new. There's these torches over here that I added for this section of the park, but then they turn purple because I wanted this area to feel like it's a little bit haunted. This is another exit that the peeps can take. This has the pathing deleted, I think. Not sure, but I think I made sure that people don't collide against this, but if they do, it's okay. It's just a minor thing. But this is another part through where the people can come in. So up until this point, this area is completely finished. I would be missing this whole part over here that is not supposed to be like that, but yeah. Oh, one train valid over there. Hold on. Because that's not supposed to happen. Okay, hold on. Let me hit test over there and see if this is making it, because last time I tried, it does make it through. So I don't see why it wouldn't make it through now. Okay, let me see. It does make it. Yeah, it does make it through, so I don't know why at that exact point it started volume, but it did. Interesting. So going back into... Can I go into... Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, so going back into the actual themed area, we have here a food court. Which a bunch of shops. We have a bathroom over here, and then this is a giant food court that I wanted to add because we don't have that many big food courts like those, so we were missing some. And then I got stuck here for some reason. I'm stuck here. I cannot go through here. Interesting. Okay, so we go out through here. Oh, the game's paused. There you guys can see, so if someone is a wheelchair user or something, they can use this elevator, fake elevator by the way, and then get out of here and then just load the train this way through this side, which is the exit but could also be used as the entrance. If you are just, you know, able to walk, then you would go through here. This is the Whisperers Blow roller coaster with that beautiful sign and this beautiful entrance. This is a regular queue, this is the fast lane queue. So if you go through fast lane, you would go this way, then turn around, go a little bit straight up, and then start going up through this part of the path. If you just waited, there's like a lot of switchbacks and cattle pens over here that, like, if Planet Coaster had this feature, they would be able to open, but since it doesn't, it's just some random cattle pens around here. And then you just go up this way, go in here, and then you're able to ride. And we are gonna ride this. Oh wait, hold on, no, I want to ride it. Okay, and then we are gonna ride the Whisperers Blow. I feel like it would be better if we rode it at night, so let's just have it be at night, because you guys are able to see the light effects that I made. So yeah, a little bit of a turn over here, and then we stop for a second, the lights go off, and then we launch. There you go. A little bit of an airtime hill, not too airtime-y, if you will, but an airtime hill either way. Then you go up this way, go turn around a little bit more, not too fast, a bit of a stall over here, and then just go into the second launch, which is this whole thing with the, like, the whole spirit over here, and then this wind trying to hush you backwards, and then you hush forwards, just like that. You take a little bit more speed, and then make it through this inversion, and then the rest of it's taking a much more of a higher pace. Bit of an airtime over there, more whippy. Let me turn on the light so you guys can see, and it kind of crawls through there to give a little bit more hang time. You turn around here, and then you go into the tunnel, like the portal tunnel kind of situation, get out of there. Some more overbanks. It is true that it's making them a little bit slower. I think at some point I messed up with the whole speed over here for some reason, I think. Let me check, because this is going at 91 kilometers per hour, but I feel like the launch, let's make it a little bit faster and make it launch at that speed and make it a little bit more punchy. Just like that. Done, hit done, and then I'm gonna leave it like just testing over there. But yeah, that was everything. People would get out of here and just go back into this area, which ties in pretty well with the whole rural town over here. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say apart from, well, planning the rest of the stuff that we need to do. I need to create the train station for this. I do want to do it, and I do want to create that train station, but for the moment we are not even finished with the whole coaster and with the whole entrance, because I need to build a couple more buildings over here along this way and a couple more along this way to cover this whole part, because I don't want it to be seen from this part. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have that as the next thing to do in my to-do list. So finish that part, kind of finish this whole entrance area, and then plan for what's to come next. So my idea was to create like a forestry area over here, maybe a nuclear kind of power plant over here, and then some coal and mining over here. But I think we got a lot of space, so a bit more rides could be made around here. I'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see if it's feasible. But for the moment, we're gonna call it a day, and yeah, we're gonna leave the episode over here. So I hope that you guys liked the whole episode. I hope you guys are liking the series. I hope you guys are liking how it's turning out to be. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, you guys can always change your mind later. If you guys change your mind, you just can desubscribe later. Give a thumbs up to this video and leave a comment to see what you guys want to see next on this park. And without much more to say, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.